What's up guys, Luke here from Luke's Points and Miles, and today I wanted to make an update for the Maximum Value Redemption series. I just did a video where I suggested I was going to do some solo traveling to Prague, Czech Republic. Well, in that video I made some solo travel criteria. One thing I needed for a solo trip was it had to be a place that my wife would not want to go. Well, the more I researched Prague, the more I realized she would love to visit there one day, so I started looking into alternatives. Budapest. And guess what? Yes, I'm sure she'd love to visit Hungary. So I went back to the drawing board. I've mentioned a few times that I'm working with a surplus of Air France miles and Virgin Atlantic miles, and I really want to use the Virgin miles for a trip to Asia. I still look every day for ANA business or first class availability, but no luck there. It really looks like there is less award availability right now than I've seen, but there has to be a great redemption out there somewhere. Also, in the last episode, we were looking at some economy options and we just weren't killing it with the cents per point. For the videos, I really wanted to change that. So I remembered one of the comments in a previous video about connecting in Istanbul and possibly having a stopover there. I thought to myself, why have a stopover in Istanbul? Why not spend a few days there? And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I would never be bored in Istanbul. But what I found price-wise was actually fairly shocking, and I'll explain. But first, if you are new here, I talk about credit cards, points, miles, cashback, and travel. If you're interested in that sort of thing, subscribe to the channel. Also, if you get any value from this video, slap that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps the channel. Now that we're finished with the introductions, let's get into the points and miles redemption. Let's take a moment to talk a little bit about Istanbul, Turkey, formerly known as Constantinople. Istanbul is a huge sprawling city that actually straddles Europe and Asia, separated by the Bosphorus River. We're talking about Istanbul, we're really talking about history. Turkey has been part of the Persian Empire, the Byzantine Empire, the Roman Empire, and the Ottoman Empire, and it's been Turkey since 1923. People travel to Istanbul for the food, the awesome picturesque mosques, and the world's oldest and largest covered market, the Grand Bazaar, which opened in 1461. Today, Istanbul is a super city of over 15 million people, and almost that many people visit the city every year. Now, you guys know this is not a geography channel, so let's get to the big league credit card rewards and redemptions. This is a rare one as far as value. Let's review. We're traveling solo, so on one hand, we could go cheap, save our points and miles for family stuff, or if you're already booked up and you have a surplus of rewards, you can book yourself something nice for yourself, which is what I have decided to do. Since I have that surplus of Air France miles, and since I transferred them over from American Express with a 25% bonus, I want to use them before they expire. And how do we acquire Air France miles? We've talked about this before in earlier episodes, so I'll go over this quickly. You can get an Air France credit card, or you can fly lots of Air France flights. But what we generally do around here is we use credit cards that earn transferable currencies. Lots of credit card issuers have Air France as a partner, so you can transfer points and miles from Chase Ultimate Rewards, American Express Membership Rewards Points, Citi Thank You Points, or Capital One miles. So basically, you can earn a ton of Air France miles. You likely notice that I am a fan of using them for maximum value redemptions. Normally, I check Google Flights to look for different flight options, but since I want to use Air France, I will just check Google Flights business class flights from JFK to Istanbul in business class, and I see that it's over $14,000. Now, I will say right now, I have no idea why it is that expensive, and that is the reason why our final cents per point valuation will be so out of this world. But like I always say, it's the price, so that's what I'm using. Pretty safe to say we are never going to pay $14,000 to fly to Europe, but I'm sure someone will. We will go look and see if we're able to do this a little cheaper. So let's go to Air France's website. Air France has a pretty good site and it's easy to navigate. We're going to be looking for an October 1st flight from JFK to Istanbul. JFK is really easy for me to reposition, and I have to admit I like it way better than Chicago O'Hare. mostly for the lounge access. Doing a quick search, and that's another great thing about Air France Flying Blue redemptions, is it's pretty straightforward and they oftentimes have really nice sales. I can find the same flights we see on Google Flights, and if I scroll down, I find this particular flight for 55,000 Air France miles and $232 for an Air France business class flight connecting in Paris, France. Now, obviously, I'm not super excited about connecting in Paris, but this does give me a chance to check out the Paris Air France lounge. That should be a cool experience. The flight across the pond is in a 777, and it's the lie flat seat goodness and all that. I'm really interested in comparing international airlines business classes, and I can't wait to see how Air France stacks up against Qatar Q Suites. Now, let's do this obviously skewed valuation. You guys know I don't really care all that much about the cents per point thing, but I also believe there is a bit of entertainment value when we calculate this. And I especially love to joke with the community that loves to repeat the 2 cents per point valuation for American Express membership rewards points. So if you think you're getting 2 cents per point, wait until you hear this. This flight's cash price was $14,184, putting it way outside of what us normal folks could ever pay for a flight. However, I did book this one, and I paid just $232 and 55,000 Air France miles. Now, here's the kicker. I transferred just 44,000 American Express membership rewards points with that 25% bonus to Air France to get the 55,000, giving us a rough valuation of 31.7 cents per point. Now, please flood the comments with the common arguments. That's not the actual price. It's artificially high or abnormally high. And make sure you throw in the, it's only as valuable as what you would actually pay for it. Again, the price is the price. If it's only worth what I would pay for it, then this flight's worth about $400, because that's pretty much my limit. Even though this is an outlier and sort of a tricky valuation, I want you to remember those numbers when you hear someone quote a particular value on a transferable currency, because this one could have been done with any of the big four. And of course, this is all just for folks that would like to travel. I've said it before, I love Team Cashback, and I'll be moving in that direction one day, but this is just not for them. Just for good measure, I will admit, I have not even booked my return trip yet, or a hotel. I can show you the value in what I want to book. I want to book the Conrad Istanbul Bosphorus for 5 nights. I've seen some YouTube videos with some really cool upgrades for gold and diamond status members. Rooms here are only 60,000 Hilton Honors points per night, so 5 nights would be 240,000 points. Remember, that 5th night is free. And the cash price would be $2,262. That makes the Hilton redemption over 0.9 cents per point. Now, as always, I want to remind you that most sources on the interwebs will tell you that Hilton Honors points are only worth half a cent per point. This isn't cherry picking. I just want to stay at this property, so I think this one is a good redemption. And I may even purchase Hilton Honors points at half a cent each to use to book this property. It just makes sense for me. Okay guys, that is it for me. Please tell me in the comments how wrong I am for valuing the points in this way. But what would be even cooler is comment below if you want to meet up in Istanbul this fall. Is there anything more James Bondish than meeting an international friend at the bazaar in Constantinople? Also, if you have any travel tips or tourist tips for Turkey, put them in the comments below. If you want to support the channel, like the video, and if you have time, check out my links in the description. Using the referrals really helps keep the channel fairly sponsor-free. If you've stayed around all the way to the end, I appreciate you, and I thank every single one of you.